The Really Real Show with Isaiah Stanback.
Never stop.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Isaiah Stanback again, back at you with, I believe, episode number 6. All right, we're keeping this thing rolling over here with the Really Real Show with Isaiah Stanback. Appreciate y'all continuing to tune in. For those that are watching on video, what's up? For those that are listening in, appreciate y'all for riding in the car with me or got your headphones on, whatever it may be. Hopefully, I don't bore y'all to death. But I want to continue bringing the real to you guys, just like the title of the show says. Ever since transitioning out of retiring as a professional player, I transitioned into sports performance and personal training. And it's an industry that I got into not really knowing the impact that I was going to have. I feel like I've been impacted more than I've actually left an impact, left an imprint on other individuals. And I got into this wanting to originally start a business because my wife, we had a baby, and I wanted to work with pregnant women, and I wanted to help, prenatal and postnatal. And then I was like, okay, well, I also want to work with the kids and do sports and help in that regard. And it kind of settled. We kind of had like a whole little smorgasbord and mixed it all in, and we service everybody. But of course, being a former athlete, I get a lot of athletes that come to me and they want to ask me for advice, and I have a great opportunity to mentor them and to help them avoid the pitfalls that myself and so many others have fell into. And I love, being. I take great honor being in the position that God's given me to be able to have that impact over these individuals, male, female, regardless of their backgrounds, whether they come from money or whether they came from the hood like myself. It's regardless. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has different things that they have, the adversities and hurdles that they have to overcome. But the question that I get posed probably the most is, what does it take to become a professional athlete? So that's what we're going to talk about today. What does it take to become a professional athlete? And there's so many layers to that question. But I'm going to hit on a couple things that I always talk to my athletes about. And the number one thing I'm going to go ahead and say is a quote that I received from Coach Belichick, in my time in New England. And he told us that we need to be willing to do what others are unable or unwilling to do. And for me, that stuck with me. That's a very powerful statement, because as I think back to the people that invested in my life, I got like my high school football coach, Luther Carr III. He used to always say, "What's up, cool?" But he was one of the most inspirational people to me growing up, because he really showed me from a coach's perspective, from a mentorship perspective, what it was going to take. He didn't make it to the league. He was a heck of an athlete, but, he was vertically challenged, as we would say. But, he put his all into me, and it mattered. He mentored me. He told me, the drive that I was going to take. He gave me the energy that I was going to require. He gave me that, that work ethic. Hey, cool, this is what it needs to do. You got to turn it up. You got to turn your feet up. You got to do this. You got to deliver the ball. You need to be vocal. All these things, that just, I'd be like, my head was spinning, right? But he was pouring into me. And, he stepped out on faith and was like, hey, guess what? Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, come throw with me. Like, we're going to work on your footwork. We're in the basketball gym. School starts at 7:40 or whatever it was. And we're in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, dark, finding a way to get to the school. Mom's waking up, dropping me off. And he's like, got the lights on in the gym. He's like, let's work. And, it took somebody, it took that leadership. It took that mentor to take me under his wing and really show me the way. And I think that's where it really started for me, in terms of having a clear understanding as to what it takes. Everybody in my family really plays sports. My brother was a very successful athlete. My sister was an athlete, and she went the artistic route, so she's very successful in what she did as well. My mom was an athlete. My dad was an athlete. The closest thing I had to me was my brother, and I didn't really get a chance to see him train. I always saw the outcome. I always saw his results, but I didn't get to see him really train. So I didn't have an understanding. I just knew he was good. The boy is nice. He was basketball, nice. Track, nice. But I never saw the behind the scenes work. So my real taste of work in regards to on the field had to do with Coach Carr, and the work that we put in there. And that's when I go back to, I'm like, hey, I was putting in work. He was helping me put in work that other people my age, other people I was competing with, were unwilling to do at that point in time. Everybody had the possibility, right? Everybody had the opportunity to go out and get themselves better by getting up early and putting in the grind, and trying to better themselves. But they were unwilling to do that. And regardless of our team's record, which was all bad, your boy, we was 1-8, whatever it was. We didn't win no games, but something about the work ethic stood out enough for me to eventually get recruited and all that. But that's where I learned hard work. So, on my list that I have here, you need a support system. You need somebody that's going to believe in you. So I had Coach Carr to really kind of guide me in regards to football because he believed in me. My little league coaches believed in me and introduced me to Coach Carr and was like, hey, continue to do the good work with this dude. You got one on your hands, because they saw that I was determined. I was, and I learned that from my parents. I learned that from my siblings. I had that work ethic, that non-quit. Team no excuse, team no quit. It was not an option. Mom instilled in me when she started, you got to finish it. So, the torch got passed. So I had those people that believed in me. I had that support system. I needed someone to model after, right? And Coach Carr, really for me, I haven't spoken about it enough up to this point. So shout out to Coach Carr if you're listening. But, you really showed me the way in terms of what it really took to put in that work and what it was going to require to separate myself from the rest of the competition. I was talented, right? But you showed me that work ethic, and I appreciate that. You need consistency. As an athlete, you need some form of consistency. I don't care if you have now, they have all these, including my facility, you have all these great opportunities to go in and train at these amazing facilities with amazing, trainers and strength and conditioning programs and, playing year round and all these different options now that weren't available when I was growing up. But however you get your consistency, whether it's in that organized setting and your family's blessed enough to put you with those great trainers, or you're like me and you were finding a way to throw a football off the ground and getting it to come back to your hands, or throwing a baseball off the garage door, or finding having a bat and hitting it on a tire, or whatever it is, hitting it on a tree. Get reps, right? Find that consistency and have that will, that drive, that determination to really just push it forward, because you can always imagine that somebody's out there putting in more time than you, somebody's out there more focused than you, somebody wants it more than you, somebody's coming from a worse situation and just has that internal drive that, guess what, that you just don't have. So you got to try to push yourself out of your environment, because guess what, you can't see that person. That person is grinding. That person might be in a different country, right? But yet you're still competing with them. So find that consistency in your regiment. I feel like everybody needs some adversity and needs some pain. There's a lot of people, especially in baseball, that haven't had to go through what people growing up in the hood, or people, coming out of different financial situations may have had to go through. Soccer, some other sports, hockey, they're, usually typically the financial model, the financial backing behind it, only you really can't play some of these sports unless you have funds, now, at least nowadays. But you really need I feel like you need some kind of adversity. Some of those individuals still have things that they're dealing with at home. They need that pain. Maybe their parents aren't getting along. They're married, but they don't really like each other. Maybe their siblings bullied them. Maybe they're getting bullied at school. Maybe they're getting bullied on social media. So I feel like you need that pain. And the reason why I say you need that pain, you need something that you're going to have to overcome, is because there's going to be days that you don't feel like doing it. And on those days that you don't feel like doing it, you need something that hurts so bad that it's going to make you say, I have to do this because I have to prove this person wrong. I have to do this because I have to overcome this. I have to do this because if I don't do this, I'm going to stay where I'm at and I can't advance. I can't raise my ceiling. So for me, I had a lot of things that were painful for me. Things I've never really spoke on, like my parents being divorced, like that pain right there, having to pick and choose on holidays. That stuff sucks, man. Only seeing my dad every other weekend, watching my mom grind and try to figure out a way to financially take care of myself and my brother and sister and help them get in school and all these things. My environment, watching, crackheads, walk down the street, watching drug deals happen across the block, and, hearing drive-bys and hoping that I don't get got, hoping that my mom doesn't get got, somehow, some way, staying on high alert for all these things. And there was a lot of stress. There was a ton of stress that I grew up around personally. And all those things were motivation for me. All those things were pain points that really drove me when I was training. So when I was out there and dog tired, I didn't feel like doing it. Guess what? You want to get out your situation? Let's go. You want to get your mom out the situation? Let's go. Right? You want to do better. You want to come back and give back to your community. You want to be an example for other people so that they have something to look towards, because there's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of mentors. There's a lack of, positive role models in your hood. Be that. Right? So there's whatever your motive is, whatever your driving factor is, do that. Do that. Let that drive you. I think that's very important. So you need that pain point. You need that point of adversity and that hurdle that you have to overcome. And that goes right into my last point as far as like needing a motive. You can't. It has to be bigger than you. If you are your only driving force, your only mechanism, I guess your only thing that's really kind of got you on edge. I think that there's a great percentage of the time, I can't put no percent on it, but a higher percentage of the time you're not going to make it unless you're just uber talented. And the reason why I say that is because it gets tough. Whether you're playing sports or whether you're in the business world, it gets tough. And if you're solely out there for yourself, I'm not sure if that's enough motivation. I think a lot of times, you might just take the shortcut, right? Or guess what? I don't need to make that much money. I'll be okay taking this job. It's less stressful. It's chill, right? But when you have people relying on you, when you have, when you have things that you stand for, it means more, right? And you have another driving force. So knowing that there's something higher than you, or maybe it's just your relationship with God, and just saying, hey, guess what? He provided me all these opportunities. I can't let him down, right? Whatever that is for you, figure it out. But you need some kind of motive to go after. You need something to stand firm behind. You need other people that are relying on you. You need mentors. You need people to see them doing good things. Sean Kemp, King Griffey Jr., those were my dudes, right? So I looked at them and I was like, I didn't never saw their work ethic, but guess what? I saw them cats balling, right? And I cared and I wanted that. So I had people that I wanted to model after. I wanted to be that. I wanted to drive what he was driving. I wanted to, I wanted to take care of his family like he was taking care of his family. I wanted to, be walking around smiling. I wanted that, all those things. So I had examples to pull from, right? All different parts of my life, and I'm grateful for those that helped me get there, and I'm grateful for the pain. I'm grateful for the experiences that I had, because without all of it, I wouldn't have made it to the league. Without all of it, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go pro baseball. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to college. I wouldn't have had any of those opportunities. So thank y'all for anybody that helped me. Thank y'all for anybody who hated on me. Thank you for my situation. Thank you for my upbringing. All of it played a huge part in me, in myself becoming a professional athlete. So when I talk to these athletes that I'm training now, I bring these points up, and I try to dig and I try to figure out exactly why. And use the example of guys that I have at the facility that are training, and you could tell some days they're just not getting after it, and I'll stop them. Hey, stop! What are you doing? What's the whole purpose of this? Why are you trying to do this? I want to get faster. Okay, you want to get faster to do what? Well, I just want to be faster. Okay, so you want to be the fastest in here? You want to be the fastest on your team? Oh no, I want to be the fastest on the team. Okay, well now we're getting somewhere. Okay, why is it important to be the fastest on the team? Well, because if I'm the fastest on the team, then I could play more. You just care about playing, or you care about winning, right? So I just digging. Some people might think that's extreme, but you end up getting to the root of it. I don't care if it's an athlete, I don't care if it's somebody for weight loss, whatever it is, like there has to be something deep in you that's a driving force to helping. That's why you training. Like, what are you here for? And for me, it was always, I wanted to be the best. Like, being secondary wasn't an option for me. And that's why I'm one of the most competitive people that I know. Guys that I grew up with, Nate Robinson, Aaron Brooks, Brandon Roy, Jamal Crawford, Jason Terry, all these guys that were in the hood, Eric Metcalf and Corey Dillon, all these guys that are in the hood in Seattle that grew up, like, these cats they separated themselves. Everybody separated themselves. Why? Because they had pain points. They had motivation. They had grind. They had examples. They had competitive, environments. And those are the driving forces that are going to help you to become a professional athlete. So that's what I tell these guys. That's what I tell these girls. And I give them that drive regardless of their background, because everybody has a story. Everybody has something that's going to motivate them and get them to that point. Find out what it is for you. So that's what I would tell everybody when I'm posed the question, what it takes to become a professional athlete. Hit on all those points: pain, vision, someone to model after. Adversity, support system, consistency, and find a motive. Figure it out, make it happen. Your boy checking out. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure that you guys send in your questions, topics that you guys want me to cover, and we'll make sure that we address those things and that we can answer all those questions and maybe even, bring up your topic that you guys send in going forward. Talk to y'all soon.
The Really Real Show with Isaiah Stanback.
Why never stop?